Everyone. Welcome officially to the July 9th, 2025 meeting of the Baltimore County Design Review Panel. This meeting is called to order, and I am your chair, Joseph Usufero. What I'd like to do is start with a roll call to account for the members of the panel present on the call. So when you hear your name, please come off of mute and say aye. Mr. Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's see here. Mr. Sala.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Sala. Let's see here. Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Thank you. Good evening. And Ms. Watkins.
Aye.
Great. Thank you. We do have quorum, but do we have Ms. Sauce or Mr. Stevens yet? I don't see them. So
not yet.
That's okay. So if they join, either Marta or Brett or Sean, if you could just give me a heads up that they're on.
Sure, thank you.
What I'd like to do is do a quick review of the agenda. So Marta, have there been any changes to the tentative agenda as published?
No, there are no changes, Joe.
Okay, great. Thank you. So if everybody can see the screen, the agenda is being shared on the screen. At this point, we're going to go ahead and do a review of the minutes from the June 11th, 2025 meeting. So through an email on June 23rd, 2025, my fellow panel members received draft minutes from the June 11th meeting. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the draft minutes that have been circulated? I'm going to go ahead and assume, thank you very much, that everyone reviewed the minutes of the June 11th meeting. Hearing no corrections or additions, who would like to make a motion to accept the minutes as circulated?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as circulated.
Thank you, Mr. Salas. So there's a motion to accept the minutes as circulated. Do I have a second?
I can second.
Okay. Who was that?
Oops. Sorry, that was Denise Watkins. I don't know if I can second, actually.
No, I don't, because you're a residential reviewer. I'd like to get another panel member
Right.
to second the minutes. Thank you for chiming in.
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. There's a second. All in favor, if you could come off of mute and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you very much. So now it's my requirement to read an opening statement as it relates to the DRP. So if everyone could mute their lines for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and embark upon this statement here. Title 4, Subtitle 2, Part 1, Sections 32.4, 203, and 204 establish the Design Review Panel, and we use the acronym DRP. DRP was established to encourage design excellence and shall act in a consulting and advisory capacity to the agencies involved in the process for reviewing development plans. The objectives for the DRP's assessment include spatial, visual, and functional relationship to the topographical characteristics, the natural and built features of the site, as well as the surrounding features of the site, visual and functional integration of streetscapes, pedestrian pathways, playgrounds, recreational amenities and parks. Streets and sidewalks are laid out in a safe and convenient manner, and parking is a positive design element. Building, parking garages, and other structures are spatially and visually integrated and suitable to their surroundings in proportion, massing, and type of materials and colors, signage, and other elements of urban design as well. And plant materials are selected and cited to define the site, provide a theme, frame of view, enhance architecture and street character, improve microclimate, provide transition between dissimilar uses, screen objectionable views and uses, and reduce noise levels and glare. In carrying out its duties, the DRP utilizes the guidelines, plans, and architectural principles in the Comprehensive Manual of Development Policies and/or Master Plan, as well as other guidelines and regulations adopted into law. Certain areas of the county were designated by the County Council to require review by the DRP. The panel will provide a technical review of the proposed project. Issues relative to zoning, setback relief, environmental, and stormwater management and traffic regulations do not fall under the purview of the DRP and are regulated through the appropriate agencies responsible for those aspects of the development plan review process. The panel consists of 9 members. All are professionals with practical knowledge in the matters of design. For purposes of making recommendations on a particular project, 3 members shall constitute a quorum. The attendance and comments of each member shall be recorded in the minutes, which shall be an open record and available, along with all documents submitted to the panel for inspection and copying by the public. There will be an opportunity for the community to offer comments and suggestions at the conclusion of the applicant's presentation. These comments will also be included in the written record of the meeting. When a speaker is called up to speak, please keep your comments focused on design perspectives within your allowed 2 minutes of time. And if you're speaking on behalf of a community group, you will be allowed 5 minutes. At the conclusion of the meeting, the Department of Planning will sum up the recommendations of the panel before a motion for a vote is suggested. Recent legislation has changed the panel's recommendations to be advisory on the hearing officer and the various county agencies, unless the hearing officer or agencies find the panel's actions constitute an abuse of its discretion or are unsupported by the documentation of the evidence presented. Disposition of the plan will be determined as either approved, approved with conditions, or additional review with a second meeting being required. So thank you very much for allowing me to read the opening statement. The agenda for this evening's meeting has 2 items. Number 1 is 1312 Walnut Hill Lane in the RRL RAIA residential review area. And the second item is 611 Silburn Road in the Sudbrook Park residential review area. So we will immediately proceed to item number 1. If the presenter would please introduce yourself, please try to keep your presentation to within 15 minutes. And please direct Marta to advance your slides when you're ready to advance. So you can come off of mute and the floor is yours.
Thanks, Joe. My name is Carter White and I'll be presenting the DRP for 1312 Walnut Hill Lane alongside Peter Ratcliffe. We are very proud of this proposal. Thanks, Marta. We're very proud of this proposal and the property owners are similarly excited for their new home. Thanks again for your time as we go through our presentation. Next slide, please, Marta. Thank you. We have prepared the below project summary, which you're welcome to read through. In short, this home has been thoughtfully designed to suit the character of the Ruxton, Riderwood, Lake Roland community. It is a 4-bedroom, 2-story home, approximately 5,800 square feet, including the first and upper floors. We've intentionally kept the scale and massing of the design down by using 1.5-story features, stepping the massing away from the street front. The project is an inclusion of contemporary design and traditional features, which is appropriately scaled for this community. Next slide, please. Thank you. Next slide, please, Marta. Thanks. Here we have the zoning map. We're providing some context of the site zoned as a DR2. For ease of reference, we've provided the DR2 setback and height requirements alongside the achieved setbacks of the proposed residence. All are within the requirements of DR2. We are not requesting any variances to either setback or height restrictions. Thank you. Next slide, please. For further site context, we have some images from the street frontage looking west, east, and south on Walnut Hill Lane. And if we can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Again, further context from within the property boundaries as you look around the site to the north, west, east, and south. Thanks, Marta. Next slide, please. On our existing site plan, there are several existing site conditions we have worked with and adhered to closely in developing this proposal. The site, it does slope down to the north heavily. We do have an environmental easement to the northern boundary as well, and a septic SRA to the northeastern boundary. I'll cover that in some more detail in our following slides. Next slide, please. Thank you. It's our proposed site plan. The footprint of the proposal sits within each of the setback conditions as noted and dimensioned on this drawing. The limitations to the lot impacted and directed the overall house design and orientation heavily. So this included items related to property setbacks, dry wells for stormwater management, setbacks from the septic SRA, as well as setbacks from the forest buffer. Next slide, please. Thank you. On the left, our existing landscape plan identifies existing trees and shrubs and notes their removal as relevant and appropriate to the owners, as well as relevant to our imposed site limitations. And on the right-hand side, our proposed landscape plan, it incorporates native plants and ornamental trees, which frames the residential frontage and creates an opportunity for newly planted trees to grow and create an aesthetically pleasing frontage as well. We're looking forward to seeing the landscaping and trees grow in both the frontage as well as the forest buffer. Next slide, please. Thank you. We have following series of 3D renderings from the proposed exterior. At the frontage, we love this sense of arrival created by the arched entrance to the front and the character through the material selections, which will be covered in more detail at the end of this presentation as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. We have an isometric view of the frontage, highlighting the proximity and extensiveness of the forest buffer to the north. Next slide, please. Thank you. This is a left side 3D rendering, just showing that half-story stepping as we go away from the street frontage as well. Next slide, please. This is our rear elevation. In this elevation, we are utilising some feature standing seam metal roofing and as well as covered and uncovered porch areas. Thanks, Marta. Next slide, please. As well as a right side rendering of the proposal. And we'll go to the next slide, thanks. Site sections are required for this DRP presentation. We're very proud of how the proposal sits within the site, stepping down towards the north and the forest buffer. A very minimal grading is occurring as we've worked within the contours to establish this proposed footprint. Next slide, please. Thank you. We have a series of our elevations, building elevations. I will highlight on the front elevation again that our proposed height is 33 feet 8 inches, well within the maximum 50-foot allowance for our DR2 zoned lot. I'll go to the next slide, thank you. Great. Our rear and left side elevations, again capturing that half-story stepping. Next slide, please. Proposed basement plan. In the basement, we have a recreational room, home gym, and mechanical storage. Next slide, thanks. On our main floor, we have quite a contemporary design for the main floor plan, an open plan kitchen to great room transition, as well as a primary suite and bathroom and additional indoor, outdoor dining, sitting space, as well as an office. We'll go to the next slide, please. Thank you. On the upper floor, we have 3 bedrooms, a sitting area and a finished attic space. It's evident here how we've achieved the overall step massing with just over 2,000 square feet of upper floor area compared to 3,600 on the first floor. And we'll go to the next slide, thanks. Thank you. These are our material selections for this project. We have an architectural asphalt shingle to the roof. We have copper gutters and downspouts, white horizontal lap siding. We have standing seam aluminium metal roofing, just as that feature roof to that rear elevation. And the dominant material to this project is the painted white brick, giving it a very timeless aesthetic and character. And our window and door selections are noted here as well. That is the end of our presentation. Thanks for your time. You're welcome any questions or comments, and we do have Kevin Benhoff and Peter Radcliffe able to assist with any comments or questions as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. White, for your efficient and excellent presentation.
Thanks, Joe.
So at this time, the floor will be open, as I mentioned in the introduction, to the public for any kind of feedback or questions from the community. And as a reminder, if you're representing a community group, you'll be allowed 5 minutes to speak. For those who do not represent a community group, you will be allowed 2 minutes to speak. So Marta, Brett, Sean, has anyone from the community signed up to speak about the project?
Yes, I have first Mr. Mr. David Owens representing the Ruxton Riderwood Association. I'm gonna make him.
So if you could allow Mr. Owens to come off of mute, and because it's for a group, he'll be allowed 5 minutes.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you fine, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we're happy to see this third house of Walnut Hill kind of being presented, and we did send out the plans to the adjoining neighbors. I think this is again the third house they've seen, so everybody's pretty familiar with the site plan and the development, and we didn't get any response back to at least negative response back to the house plan. So I think it's a nice design, seems to fit in well with Ruxton and the neighborhood. We did hear one complaint from an adjoining neighbor about excessive clearing of the site, but I think it's all being done according to the subdivision plan. So I think she was just upset to see a lot of trees or existing trees being taken down. The other question that we have is about the garage and whether the space above the garage is going to remain unfinished, or if there's any particular plan for that at this time. I don't know if the architects can address that after I talk, or they can address it now.
Sure, I'm happy to jump in, David, to that question. At the moment, the intention of the over garage space is finished attic space, storage. There's been no discussions to date about making that space for any other purpose. So.
Okay, that sounds good. And the only other kind of comment, which has been on all three of these Walnut Hill houses, is any way that the developer or builder can continue to increase the width of that existing road within the right of way, during construction would be greatly appreciated by all the neighbors. It's a tiny little street. The right of way's, been increased, almost double the size of the existing street. So as they're building driveway entrances and sort of working in that area, any additional width that can be added to the street in front of that would be appreciated. I know it's kind of a county issue, but if there's a chance to widen that street, I'm sure all the neighbors will appreciate it. So that's the only comments Ruxton Riderwood has.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mr. Owens. Marta, Brett, Sean, is there anybody else signed up to speak?
Yes, we have one other person from the community, Mr. John Matthew McGlone. I'm gonna unmute him now.
Mr. McGlone, can you hear us and can you try to speak?
He should be a panelist now. I just unmuted him.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you fine. Yes, it's your turn, Mr.
Okay.
McGlone.
Yes, no, I didn't see that David was on. He represented our views very well. I have no further comments other than what David Owens has already put forth, other than it was a pleasure to work with Radcliffe Associates. They do a great job.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. McGlone. Brett, anybody else signed up?
No, Joe, that's it.
Okay, great. Before we get to the discussion with the panel members, I do want to address Mr. Owens' comment about the road widening, and say that if the county believes that widening is necessary along Walnut Hill Lane, they will make that comment through the appropriate development plan process. It is not a requirement that the design review panel can impose upon an applicant. That would be a county item. So, Mr. Owens, I did want to address that. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and officially close the public comment period and open up the discussion to the panel members. So for this area, Mr. Anderson is on. So Mr. Anderson, go ahead and go first. It's your turn.
Thanks, Joe. Since Mr. Owens and Mr. McGlone were on for the association, I don't have anything to add there. I did get an email saying that they did not get any comments from adjacent neighbors. So in a rare but happy circumstance, I actually have nothing additional to add, and I would say nice job on the presentation, and it was a very lovely design. So good luck with the house.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Let's go to Mr. Sala next.
Yes, I kind of agree. It's a great presentation. Thank you very much for putting in the effort. Great graphics as well, very clear. I really like the welcoming feel of the house, the simplicity of the material palette. I think it sits well on the site, and I appreciate you sort of breaking up the massing and kind of the stepping down of the massing, which feels really nice on the site. So I don't have any further comments. Great job.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Sala. Let's go to Mr. Sharma.
It's a nice rendition, nice house. I don't have any comments. Thank you.
This is a smooth meeting tonight. Did I miss anybody? Did Miss Sauce or Mr. Stevens join?
I'm here, Miss Sauce.
Miss Sauce is here. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, you must have been a little bit late because I missed you on the roll call, but
Yes, sorry,
you're
I
here,
was-
so it's your turn.
I don't know what my camera is doing, so I apologize. My only comment is more of a question, I guess, for you, Joseph. Would it be okay to put a condition that they have an actual landscape plan with a planting schedule on it before it goes to county review? Or would that be okay to say, or?
I think we can put that comment on. However, I want to be respectful of the applicant and how much work they put in, and every scope item or change that we add presents a financial response. And I think that this plan is enough from a county standpoint. If a planting plan with species and quantities is needed, I think that would be is required by the county. I think that would be appropriate. But in my opinion, I think we should leave it as is. But I'm only one panel member.
No, that's fine. I mean, it was a great presentation, very thorough, and I echo everybody else's comments. I just always like to see a landscape schedule or think that the county requires that. So I guess we'll leave it up to the county then.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then Mr. Stevens, I think is the last one here.
I did arrive late, but I must say the design is very appropriate, and I really do not have any comments other than to say that it's very well done and very fitting for the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stevens and fellow panel members. I don't have any comments either. So at this point, who would like to make a motion on the project? And as a reminder, we can make a motion to approve it. We could make a motion to approve it with conditions, or we can make a motion to have the applicant come back for a second meeting, which I don't think would be appropriate here, considering all the comments. So who would like to make a motion here?
Joe, I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
I would make a motion that we approve the project as submitted.
And I second that.
Okay, so Mr. Anderson made a motion to approve the project as submitted. I think I heard Mr. Stevens as a second.
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor, if you could come off of mute and say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Congratulations and thank you again. Have a good evening.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will go ahead and proceed to item number 2 on the agenda, 611 Silburn Road in the Sudbrook Park Residential Review Area. If the presenter would please introduce yourself, and again, try to keep your presentation to within 15 minutes and direct Marta to advance the slides. So if you could come off of mute, the floor is yours.
Good evening, folks. My name is Greg Rice. I'm Senior Vice President with Ameristar Homes. We are proposing a new home on 611 Silburn. This is outside the historic district. This will be the 4th home that we own, a property that we had purchased from the Blizzard family. The Blizzards still live on the corner of Upland and Silburn. The past 3 homes sold, and the 3rd getting ready to start once county approval goes into a permit, hopefully this week. This 4th home is a farm home style house. And per the comments with my last meeting for 615, it was suggested that this 2-car garage home would possibly be allowed on the last of the 4 lots that I'm going to be able to build on in Sudbrook. So I'm proposing this 2-story home with a 2-car garage. It is an exceptional lot at the end of the street with a long driveway. It gives ample parking for a family, as well as 2 cars inside of the garage. Extensive shrubbery package. I believe there's a landscape plan which you can take a look at. I think 49 pieces of landscaping are designed to go around this home. We plant with knowing what these varieties of plants do in the future, so they don't overtake the home and be pulled out at a later time because of overgrowth. Ample trees as well as small foundation shrubs. And it comes across at a great package. The site plan that I've attached shows all three of the new homes that I built on Shelburne together. The architecturals are labeled, colors of the home as well as color schemes. I did also have a marketing brochure that shows the house. And I also attached a picture of a home we just recently completed of this house, of a farmhouse style with the 2-car garage. I think the color scheme on this one was white.
Mr. Rice,
Yes.
we're trying to follow along on the screen that Marta's sharing. Is there a
Okay.
way that you can direct her to the appropriate plan that you're referencing?
Okay, well, we got a street view now at a neighbor's homes. This looks like it's on the opposite side of the street. That's correct. This is on the opposite side of the street from where we're proposing building. This is a little further towards the main road, just up past our lot. Okay. This is the site plan that shows all three of the properties together. The most detail is shown on the lower lot on this plan, which is the home we're proposing at 611. The landscape plan here shows the proposed material with a plant schedule up on the upper right-hand side. That shows 49 pieces of planting will be done on the lot, including trees as well as landscape shrubbery, both in front and in the rear of the property. The color schemes that we're proposing on this house, the white siding, the charcoal black roof. There are no shutters on this home. From my past meetings, there was some concern about shutter sizes and things. So we are trimming the windows with a 4-inch surround, which seems to be the popular way to go these days, as well as some accent stone on the foundation up to the bottom of the windows. This is a photo of a recently completed home of the same style. It shows the foundation stone at the bottom, the lack of shutters with the white trim around them, the garage door panelized. There are a few differences in what we're proposing up at Shelburne, as in glass and more carriage look to the garage door, which I think you'll see on the architecturals. The facade on the attached architecturals, although not reversed, does show the more carriage garage door on this 2-car garage, as well as it defines the vertical siding on the second floor area, the stone we're planning to put around the door in the front and up on the sides of the garage door. The change in textures up in the gable, going from a vertical siding to a vinyl cedar shake siding with a glass 2x2 glass window up in the gable for accent. In all honesty, I think that color scheme you're looking at's an error on my part. My apology. The side view of the home, ample windows, all being constructed, although plans may say optional, the plans are to put all windows in the side of the home and bedrooms as possible. The rear elevation of the home, showing the access to the rear through the sliding glass door. A pair of twin windows, one in a bedroom, one in a dining area. And then the smaller window, I believe you'll see is in a master bath on the second floor. The opposite side window, the lower window, is the kitchen, and the 3 windows in the upper area are in 3 bathrooms. The center of that house there pretty much is a stairwell that goes up, which the windows are in. Shows the roof elevations and what they look like in the turned gables. This is just another graphic of the home showing the difference in textures, not the same colored offer, but the same house. This is an easier version to see the interior layout. The foyer that leads back to a powder room, a large gathering area, stairs that go up from the rear of the house towards the front to the second floor, a kitchen area that offers a peninsula countertop, as well as a full appliance package, which includes washer and dryer units that go up on the second floor, all Energy Star approved appliances. The second floor, the layout that we're proposing is the smaller layout on the right-hand side that shows 4 bedrooms. That matches the front elevation, the way the front matches up with the 2 bedrooms and the reverse gables. Basement layout, I think we are proposing to put a finished rec room in this house, but this layout also allows a customer to purchase additional upgrades, as in another bedroom and an additional bath. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Rice. Does this conclude your presentation?
That it does, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So at this time, the floor, once again, will be open to the public for any kind of comment or feedback. If you're representing a community group, you'll be allowed 5 minutes. Others will be allowed 2 minutes. Marta, Brett, Sean, has anybody signed up from the community to speak?
We have no one from the community in the chat, Joe.
Okay. Sometimes this gets a little tricky to sign up. So if for some reason someone does sign up through the discussion, we'll go ahead and allow them to speak, even though I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment period.
Joe, we don't have anyone who attending this meeting from public, so I don't think we will have anyone.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Marta. So we'll go ahead and officially close the public comment period. And then we'll go ahead and open it up to the panel discussion. So at this time, I think Ms. Watkins is here for the Sudbrook Park. So Ms. Watkins, do you want to go first? Go ahead and come off of mute. It's your turn.
Sure. Thank you. And thanks, Greg. Once again, I know you guys have developed a couple of houses in this area in Sudbrook Park, so we appreciate the presentation. If Marta, if you could go back to the site plan, I think there's a site plan showing the landscaping, to propose landscaping. Yeah, that one there. Actually, if we could go to the drawing just above that, the layout, the particular lot. Okay, so 611 is the one. There's an existing house there now that's been built, and then now 611 is, if we're looking at that house to the south or to the right. So Greg, I know that there are several trees on this site, and in the past I think we've asked for some documentation of existing trees on the site to see which ones are being removed. Excuse me, I went out there the other day just to look. Most of the trees on that site do seem to have some level of distress, but just wanted to know if there's been a survey of the existing trees on the site, and are you proposing to remove all of them, or if any of them are being saved?
looking at the trees that are on the site, we too agree they are in distress. And when we clear and excavate a home of this size on the lot, these distressed trees aren't going to survive. So what we're doing is we propose to limit the disturbance that takes you down to the rear of the lot. There are trees on the back of the lot. They are not healthy or how can you say, any type of specimen. The rear trees, we do need to go in and clean up. They are more scrub, smaller type trees that are not in good shape. And in all honesty, the rear of the property is, maybe for lack of a better word, very trashy. But we try to limit how far we actually grade. And then that area behind the limited disturbance, which is that arc in the rear, will go in by hand and clean out that area. But we didn't feel there was anything in there worth noting of any value.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And then, Marta, if you can go down to the landscape plan, just so we can see kind of what's proposed to go on this site. Again, it's a relatively narrow site, so I know that the existing house that you built that's kind of in the middle here, they've actually planted a row of trees for some kind of, shielding between the houses, which is nice. So this house will take advantage of that. It looks like we have a couple of specimen trees in the front that start to landscape. So we're in support of that from a neighborhood perspective. As you know, Sudbrook Park is, even though this is not in the historic district, it is a neighborhood of trees and has a big history of a lot of very notable trees. So we always like to see those trees be replenished as they're cut down, obviously. So we would love to see a bit more of exhibit trees, but I see that this is a very narrow lot and may be challenged as these trees mature. So that is fine. I will say that one thing, and Greg, you're not going to be surprised by this comment because we made it before. The 2-car garage taking up 3/4 of the front of the house is always something that gives us a little bit of a pause. I think we made that comment on the other house that's been built there, having preference that the garage be more in proportion with the overall proportion of the house. I understand that 2-car garages are desirable to many of us, but typically for the proportion of the house, we would just like to register that having a 1-car garage and having a bigger porch would be more in keeping with the neighborhood and the character of the house. I'm a little confused by the illustration here. It looks like the top panel of the garage door is in Pacific blue and a vinyl siding, or is that a panel? What am I seeing there?
The top panel of the garage door is glass, and the Pacific blue registers the color of the siding. And the reason I proposed this home, if you'll recall, was we had this conversation at the last meeting, and then it was said that the board will consider this 2-car garage on the last lot to be built on, which is why I brought the 2-car garage back into the process again, because at the last meeting it was stated that the board would consider this model.
Okay, fair enough. I think from the community perspective, the other board members can make comments as they wish, but from a community perspective, we still kind of think that the garage is a little bit oversized for the front of the house, considering how narrow the lot is and how narrow the house is. It just is dominant. So my opinion, it'll be in the notes. Everybody else can
I can appreciate that, but also at the last meeting, there was only one person that had a strong opinion about the 2-car garage. So anyway, folks, I'm anxious to move forward with this and work towards an approval.
Okay. So just an additional comment about the stone foundation. I do appreciate that there's a breakup of that around the bottom. Uh, 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 just aesthetically, the stone around the front door, it is curious to me. I'm not sure there's a lot of houses in the neighborhood that have that kind of detail. I think just from a detail perspective, having the siding would be a better choice. But again, that's more of an aesthetic choice than I know you have a palette that you're trying to go for. It would be great to see that stone base go all the way around the house on the sides, at the sides in a minimum, just to continue that around. The sides of these houses get to be very broad, even with the windows. There's not a breakup of material, so I think it would be great to have that basic continue around to at least the side of the house to help break up that proportion a little bit.
It just makes it very cost prohibitive, man.
Understood. So I do like the farmhouse look. I do have an additional question. Again, when I walked by the site the other day, this lot seems to have a Douglas Realty sign on it, not Ameristar. Is that someone you're working through? Is that I was curious because usually we would see the Ameristar sign on that lot.
Mr. Blizzard's son is a Douglas agent. He's the gentleman that brought us the property, and he will be receiving commission based on the sales price of the home. So we allow him to keep his sign up for his marketing purposes.
Okay, still subject to this review and site plan review, all of that. It's not going to be sold separately. Okay, can we, Marta, and then I'll kind of complete my comments. But if we could go to the side view of the house, and Greg, you did say those materials might be a little bit. They're not maybe not accurate, but it looks like the color palette is the color palette here what we're seeing there, or is it different? The blue siding and the.
I think somehow or another with the numerous layouts and the inserts that I put with the PDFs, the white home is the one I believe we were proposing. And
this color palette that we're seeing.
Yeah, I threw in some graphics that were done just to give you a better idea how the whole house looks on the exterior.
Okay. So not to beat a dead horse, but again, the garage is very prominent on the front of the house, and having a larger front porch would be beautiful, and having a smaller one, even if the doors, I think we've made this comment on houses before as well, which I think you've accommodated, is maybe adding hardware that makes it look a little bit more carriage house like or farmhouse like, as opposed to, the garage door being so blatant out there. That would be helpful. And then the side views that we were looking at before Marta had gone through, we are supportive of obviously adding windows to those to break up that very large side of the house. Again, the cost aside, having that stone base go around would it go a long way to help break that up and more in keeping with the neighborhood. I know that we've made comments before about shutters. I do like the farmhouse look. I think that has a very nice, clean feel to it. And it kind of avoids that whole thing about having shutters that aren't really the right size for the house. So I think that is a real positive part of this. So I think those complete our comments. I would like to see, just make sure that we're not taking down any large specimen trees. Maybe add a little more edge landscaping to the front to maintain the edge. And then, the 2-car garage, again, so noted. And maybe continue that stone around the base of the building.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Watkins. Let's proceed forward to Mr. Stevens.
Okay. I guess one question is, I see 3 different color schemes, I guess, for this particular home, or is that not the case?
This is the color scheme that they're looking at on the screen right now and which we're proposing.
Okay, because I do see it in the back, what's that, the Coolidge, which is
Yes,
the,
that's just an artist rendering that we use with our marketing brochures. The color scheme is number one on this home that we're proposing. And some of this I duplicated from a prior package and may have not deleted an additional scheme.
okay, okay. And the windows on the both sides of that house, which are optional, are definitely
There, we will be putting those windows in the house.
they will. Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. I guess as far as the looking at the front elevation, and if we, whether it's a two-car garage or one-car garage, I most definitely would like to see, the carriage house approach on the doors, and yeah.
I can, there's a hardware option that I can add that to give a more of a panelized look without any issue. And really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this look a little more distinctive than the two homes next to it. Because we did scale back the garage sizes and made the porches larger and just trying to create a little more variety in the three. But when you're building on narrow lot designs like this, there's not a whole lot of variety you can offer in a product. So that's the purpose of the larger garage. Thank you.
Okay. And I'm not really buying I love the low wall masonry at the front facade, but not particularly at the entry door. That seems to be a bit much, and maybe there is a a better wrap up with continuing that low wall on the side of the house, as opposed to having it so prominently around the door at the entry.
That front door is set back 8 foot from the face of the garage, which is why I think we put that stone in that area just to break up that large offset between the front of the house and that covered porch area.
I hear you. Okay. Well, those are my comments, and I would love to hear from the other panelists. But I do see that incorporating that masonry retaining wall on the sides would really be very meaningful for that home. That's it for me.
All right, thanks, Mr. Stevens. Let's go to Ms. Sauce.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I echo my fellow panelists' comments, and we'll defer to them.
All right, thanks, Ms. Sauce. Let's go to Mr. Sharma.
The same thing, the garage and the front entrance, they look out of proportion. Garage is too overpowering. The other thing is that the main entrance looks like it's too deep. It gives the feel of more of a side entrance rather than the main entrance. So that's all I have.
All right, thanks, Mr. Sharma. Let's go to Mr. Sala.
I have a couple of comments. I do like the color palette you've selected, but the Coolidge image that you had as a precedent that the parts of the presentation, I kind of like the simplicity of it in a way. I like ganging up those two windows in the, I think, is that the master bedroom? Like, I do like that because it gives that part of the house a bit more gravitas. And overall, I think we're trying to see how we can dumb down the garage door and give more significance to other parts of the house. I think if you could look into that, I think that if that's okay with the owners, I think that's a better move than having two separate windows. I think this looks a little bit more cohesive. I do like how the roof above the balcony or the porch extends above the garage door, kind of framing that. I like that because in your elevation, it looks a little bit weird and how you, it's awkward. Sorry, not weird. It looks a little bit awkward in terms of how the garage door siding transitions into the vertical siding. If you look at this facade, there's the stone, the horizontal siding, the vertical siding, the shingle siding, and then the roof. There's like 5 different material just on that facade. And I feel like, you know, in some cases, less is more. You know, the less material you have, the more clarity of the design idea. So if there's a way, maybe even consider at the front, extending the roof over with an overhang and then extending the stone up to that roof and then getting rid of the horizontal siding at the front, just to kind of reduce the number of material you have will help quite a bit. Now, I totally agree the garage door is taking over half of the facade. I'm wondering, you know, you have a little column there at the front of the porch. I wonder if you can maybe create a gateway or frame that somehow, maybe putting a half column on one side or putting some sort of detail that kind of brings the door forward in a sense, you know, sort of giving a little bit more emphasis to the porch and how you enter that porch maybe helps as well reduce the strength of the garage door and gives more emphasis to the entry of the house. Very subtle details, but I think it helps bring the elevation to the. I totally understand how difficult and challenging it is to design a very narrow house, and again the idea of creating a variety with other homes that you've done. But I feel like with just maybe those 3 moves, you can certainly turn this house around and make it give it a bit more cohesion in terms of the design and maybe address the issue of the garage door. So I think those are it. So maybe think about extending the roof over above the porch, ganging up those 2 windows with the master bedroom, I believe, and maybe extending the stone up. I don't care about the stone at the entry door. I think it's so far back. It doesn't matter to me if it extends all the way up or stops at the typical height where you have it in other places. But I think extending the stone up to meet a roof, an extended roof, will give the house a bit more presence and maybe ground the house a little bit more. And then allows you to reduce the number of material you're using at the front of the house. Just I think would make that elevation look much more, you know, cohesive. Those are the only comments I had.
All right, thanks, Mr. Salas. So before I go, I just want to suggest to my fellow panel members that we need to sum all this up into a motion, right? We need to provide a very, very clear and succinct motion on what the motion maker wants to do. So if you could start thinking about that. Marta, could you go to the site plan? Yeah, and zoom in. So I hear Mr. Rice in terms of trying to differentiate this house from the others and uh, it, agree that it's very tough on a narrow lot like this house is on. I do know that other houses in the area have the 1-car garage. I do think that this differentiates the house, and I'll also call out the driveway. The driveway is a single car access to the road, and then it expands inside the site. So I seem to remember a couple months ago there was a proposal that had the 2-car driveway go all the way out, and I think Mr. Rice considered that comment and he drew it such that it's a single car driveway out and then inside the site it kind of flares out and creates the two. I am again, one person's opinion. I'm okay with it, and I think we all need to come up with a motion to tell Mr. Rice and how to proceed. So that,
Joe?
sure.
Sorry, if I remember this correctly from the last time we talked about a similar project here as well, was instead of putting the driveway on the right-hand side of your approach to the garage, put it on the left-hand side, so you're closer as you enter. You're closer to the door, and you're not closer to the garage. You're closer to the entry of the house. Then kind of changing your perception of the house as you come into it, in a sense. But that was one other comment that I made specifically tied to this topic last time.
Yeah, I do.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
That's okay. That's okay. So we're at the point now where we need to decide on the motion, right? So the motion could be three options: approve it as it's submitted, approve it with conditions, and the conditions could be material related, architecture related, site design related, which would require Mr. Rice to administratively get the changes approved, or we may feel that these changes are so major that Mr. Rice would have to make changes and come back at a second meeting. So there are the three options. Who would like to take a run at a motion?
Joe, I could speak to the architectural components. I think I have a good grasp of that.
Okay.
If Denise, you're okay with me doing that, unless you want to take that on, but I would need some feedback, if anything, on the site concerns, if there's any.
Go ahead and take a stab at it, Mr. Sala.
So, motion to approve with conditions, I guess the middle ground. And if you can go to the facade architecturally, I think apply a carriage style hardware to the door. That's number one. Number two, think about or extend the stone up to the roof of the porch, and extend the overhang of the porch across the house so that the stone dies into the roof, therefore eliminating the horizontal siding from the front facade. Gang those two right-hand side windows together so they are create one large opening versus two separated windows. And if possible, add a second column to the right-hand side of the entry to the porch, sort of defining the entry a bit more so that it has a bit more presence on the front of the house. If there's any other site-related comments, I ask my colleagues to help me with those.
I don't have any other site-related items.
I think that just one additional thing was that we felt like it would be advantageous to extend the stone around the sides if possible, to help the side elevations, reduce the proportion. I don't know if we're qualifying, again, the one car garage versus the two, but the preference would be for one. Realize we can't mandate that, but it would be for one. I guess I don't know that we want to debate it, but I do take a little bit of exception to bringing that stone all the way up on the garage face. And I understand, Tarek, that that's a way of simplifying the elevation. It's just not really, it's not really common for any of the houses in this neighborhood, and it seems more, I think actually the horizontal siding, while it does kind of combine those two materials, I think it's a little more traditional to have the siding be dominant in the elevation. So I don't know if we want to debate that. I understand why you're asking that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to reduce the number of material. Seemed like an easy
Yeah,
way to do it.
I
But
understand.
happy
Yeah,
to have, if at least for me, extending the roof
I agree with
allows for a
that
nicer
very much.
transition
Yes.
between the vertical and horizontal. So if you're yeah, I'm okay
Right.
just extending the roof over at least.
Okay.
I think that
Extending the
will
roof
help.
over and grouping those two windows, I think is going to go a long way. I think that's
Okay.
definitely something we can put in that motion because
Okay.
I do think that's going to go a long way to simplifying and helping the house kind of group all
Sounds
of
good.
those elements together. So I agree.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So I don't know if we need to clarify that motion now that I
Well,
brought it up.
yeah, that's not a motion, so that was more of a
Yep.
discussion.
Right.
So
Let's do that again then.
Okay, we'll do it again.
Yes, somebody needs to go ahead and again efficiently sum up the conditions and put a motion out there. And if people don't agree with the motion, they won't vote aye. So go ahead and make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve with the following conditions. On the front facade of the house, I would extend the porch roof across the house to cover the car garage, essentially. Add carriage style hardware to add some richness to the garage door itself, since it's very prominent on the facade. Gang the two bedroom windows together that are on the right hand side of the house. I think that's the master bedroom, if I'm not mistaken. And then, if possible, based on the detailing, add a second column to the right hand side of the entry porch to help frame the entry to the house, giving more prominence to the main entry to the main entry door of the house. I didn't hear any site specific comments. And then extend if possible, extend the base, the stone base, to the sides of the house, so that we can help reduce the scale of the size of the house as well.
So we're going to need to, you can't say if possible. It either is or it isn't.
Okay.
Okay. So
Thanks, Joe.
that's
Sorry
going
about
to be, that's okay. That's okay. So I think, Mr. Sella, you're almost there. Just take one more stab and,
All right, I'll do that again.
Again, be very specific on the front column too, what you want.
Okay.
Try that one more time,
Let's
and
do
I
that
think
one more time.
that's gonna be it.
Okay. Motion to approve with the following conditions. First condition is to add the carriage style hardware to the garage door, to extend the roof of the porch across the right hand side of the house to cover the entirety of the garage door and help break up the material between the garage door and the bedroom above. Gang the two bedroom windows together so they form one large opening that are on the right hand side of the house. To add a second column to the right of the entry porch to help frame the entry to the house, giving a bit more significance to the entry of the house as opposed to the garage door taking prominence. And then extend the stone base on the sides of the house as well to help reduce the scale of the house on the sides. Does that cover everything?
That sounds like a pretty succinct motion to me. Department of Planning, did you get that? And is that clear enough for you?
Yes, it's clear enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so there's a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, was that Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens, thank you very much. There's a second. All in favor, if you could come off of mute and say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? For the record, I am opposed to the motion. I don't like the stone around the house, but the motion carries 5-1. So thank you very much.
Sorry, Joseph, I was also opposed. I didn't speak up, but I didn't agree just because of the garage, the two-car garage. So
Okay, thanks, Ms. Watkins. So I think it's 4-2. It still passes. So okay. Did the Department of Planning get all the folks that were for and against that?
Yes, we have it. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. So motion carries. So I think we're at the point now where we're at the end of the meeting. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn the evening board meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Sala. Second.
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. All in favor, come off of mute and say aye.
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 Hi.
All right. Any opposed? I think there's probably not going to be any opposed. So the meeting is officially concluded. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.